Hello and welcome to another episode of Kwesi's Corner with me, Kwesi. Today we're going to be talking about the pros and cons of both electronic kits and acoustic kits. Now, you know me, it's going to be pretty layman. It's going to be pretty true to life. So, first thing, electronic kits. 3 pros. First pro being whatever level of kit you're using, especially as we're using a Roland here. It's an excellent production tool. If you're not quite happy with the sounds that are coming from whatever kit that you've got, you can plug in third-party drum sets. I know there's a few about. You can have a really realistic feel and sound and tone. Not just that, but as it acts as a mini controller, you can basically use it for anything. It gives you also the ability to play a lot quieter, means you don't irritate anyone too much, which is true with electronic kits. You're not bothering anyone too much. However, there is the issue of just the physical sound of the drum and obviously the kick hitting the rubber pad in this case. So this is what you're going to be hearing basically. Pad-wise, hi-hat stand, So that can either annoy or not, depending on where you're living. Another bonus is the ability to experiment with different sounds. Obviously, depending on which kit you get, I mean, say for instance, this one, this particular brain is preloaded with 15 different kits. Some of them are not conventional kits. Some of them actually are. That's obviously got nothing to do with a conventional drum kit. So obviously, if you want to experiment with sounds, be hip hop star in your bedroom. Also, another thing is that with the plug and play feature is that you can stick your headphones into the side of this and obviously listen to yourself as we mentioned earlier, but you can also stick an external device into the side of this, your phone, your iPad, your iPod, your tablet. You can hear your own tracks in the mix. So if you're playing drumless tracks, that also works very well. Rather than playing the cheesy ones that are preloaded on this particular kit, you can play the cheesy ones that you usually listen to. No offense. Another thing is it's very space saving, which makes it great for city dwellers. These things fold quite nicely. I know this is opened out quite a bit, but this is fully adjustable. You can bring this in, you can bring this down without having to actually buy additional stuff. These are fully adjustable, so that comes right down. So if you happen to be very small in stature, that works for you. That will work for you, should I say. Okay, so 3 cons. Electronic kits will still make noise that can disturb your neighbours. Some brands like Roland and Yamaha have come out with low volume bass drum pedals, which reduce that significantly. Roland also came out with this kind of sound eater pad. It worked a little bit, but I've got a couple and nah. But there are obviously upgrades that you can get. Like I said, a couple of Roland and Yamaha upgrades you can get in order to, quieten that down. And they are quite good. They're quite, they had to address that problem sometime, and they did. It often doesn't feel like an acoustic drum. That's another con. It doesn't absorb the energy in the same way, which means that your technique will suffer. Yes and no. You've got to be able to appreciate it for what it is, which is an electronic kit. So yes, it doesn't feel as realistic. Will your technique suffer? I doubt it. It will if you're going in thinking that it will improve your technique and you're expecting it to respond, then you're failing. Then you're actually quite silly. It will make you sound better than you actually are. For example, double stroke rolls and speed of getting around the kit is exaggerated. It's true. If you ever tighten these, remember you can tighten these without changing the tuning. I think what helped me was, and what still helps me now, is using a completely different surface, or tuning these right down, or after you're practicing on this for a while, go practice on the pillow. So when you come on this, yeah, you'll feel like a beast, but you'll know what the difference is. So when you come back, you put that work in, and then so on and so forth. And the bonus con. Is there a bonus con? That it doesn't look as cool as a real kit does. I will have to agree. But with the higher end stuff, some of the stuff does actually look pretty cool. There are companies who are just out there to pimp your ride, in a sense. That's up to you really, but obviously it doesn't beat having a beautiful shell. Sometimes you look at it, and especially for younger kids, when you're buying a kit, when you tell them, oh, you can't get an acoustic kit, but you can get an electronic kit. What is this piece of trash you've put before me? It looks so boring and black. Pause. They hate it until they get on it. Or I give them a quick demo and I show them what it's capable of. And then, oh my God, this is amazing. Oh my God, the headphones are there. So now we're going to see what the acoustic kit can do. We're going to examine its pros and cons and see what that is about. Alright, so here we are on the acoustic kit. This is a stage custom by Yamaha. 3 pros. Physically inspires you to become a better drummer. View of the kit in all its glory, the beautiful looking cymbals, the lovely finish on the drum, are all things that would inspire you as a drummer, whether you're old or young, to want to play it, right? The next one is more accurate playing as a result of correct dynamic range. You can get better with the rudiments quicker or at a better rate than you would an electronic kit, which I believe is true. It's so much more responsive, a real kit, you know, even fingertip touch. Electronic kits do try to simulate that, but don't quite get it, even the higher end ones. Trying to practice different dynamics with the hi-hat pedal, you know, getting the left foot up and down, the cymbals, trying to mix it in with a nice sounding roll, etc., etc., all that kind of stuff, all those kind of techers. You pull that off better on an acoustic kit. Next one, so much more choice and range of materials, looks, brands and style when it comes to equipment. You can mix and match snare drums to cymbals to tailor to make your own signature sound. Feed your inner drum geek. That I also agree with. That's obviously going on from the first, or sorry, should I say the second point. I'm a drum geek. I don't care what people say. I like gear. I like stuff. You know, people look at the amount of gear that I would have and say, "Whoa, man! Like you must be rich." No, I'm not rich. I just bought gear when I was broke. I bought gear when I was broke and ate beans for the rest of the month. You know what I'm saying? And the fun of it. It's not just oh, I have to get this for this gig and this for this gig. It's the fun of discovering a new sound, which you can't get with electronic. You can program a sound in. It's not the same thing as getting a ride that you know does exactly what you want it to do, or getting a snare drum that's like, oh my God, it's perfect for this kind of session, etc. Also, the accessories, the little bits that stand out, the little discovery of the little hardware that you can get that puts a splash there and stuff. I think that's so cool, man. Like, I was into Transformers as a kid. I don't know about you guys. I didn't have Meccano. I had Transformers and Lego. This is like my Transformers and Lego, but it makes sounds. Get to hit it. Okay, now 3 cons. One tends to be quite loud and a little impractical for smaller flats and houses, but there are options such as mesh heads that reduce the noise up to 60%, sometimes more actually, but that is true, you know. I have currently an acoustic kit that's permanently set up as an acoustic mesh kit with L80 cymbals. Yes, I use Zildjians. Yeah, even that annoys the neighbour, who then annoys me by coming to me and giving me attitude, because even when you're hitting a mesh head, you still get a bit of tone, whether you like it or not. When you're using a shell on a mesh head, you're still getting that tone that from the drum, the true tone of the drum. And here's the thing: I've got these like minor brushes where the pedal heads go, and I use that, and he still hears it. But there are solutions. As I said, the L80s, the mesh heads, the black holes by Artom are amazing. You know, the Z heads, the Silent Stroke by Remo. There's a lot of options there. Next con is that it's heavier to transport. But there are transport-friendly options. Again, on a personal note, one of my things that I hate, obviously living in a first floor flat, then you bring in all that stuff, take out the Uber, just hell. If I did have an electronic kit, it would be a lot less complicated. Next thing, maintenance is required. But there is a lot to be gained in knowledge and experience from owning a real acoustic kit, as opposed to electronic kits, where you just have to tighten the mesh head or not, according to your needs. With this, you have to actually tune a kit. If you had mesh heads on top and bottom, you could still tune it to make it sound how you want. You still have to learn the art of tuning and getting around a kit, etc. And how it works, how the hi-hat stand works, how that mechanism works when you break it down again and again and put it back together, and everything else. There's basic fundamental rules that you've got to adhere to when you're building up your kit. Otherwise, they depreciate more quickly, and also they just look like trash. You have to put a bit of care into your acoustic kit. That's not really a con, but at the same time, it's something that you need to consider. It causes you to be so much more knowledgeable about your kit than an electronic kit, but you have to know a lot. I mean, you have to know names of different bits and pieces. Some people don't want that stress, they just want to tighten it, etc. I don't blame them for wanting to do that, but it's a different way of looking at things. It's a different way of looking at your situation. Think, look, I take drums seriously, but only up to a point. Now, I lived in a block of flats at one point, and I couldn't make any noise at all, apart from the pad. I had a little rhythm traveller at one point, put all mesh heads on it, and I got an electronic kit. At the time it was a TD15, I had that for about 5 years. Then it came to the time for me to move to a nicer flat, bigger flat, and I just wanted something that felt more true to life. So I ended up putting mesh heads on one of my kits, putting L80 cymbals on that same kit. What I'm trying to say to you guys is it's based on your current situation, musically, financially, space-wise, living-wise, etc. I don't think one's better when you're looking at the overall context of your needs. All those are different variables that you throw into the mix in order to ascertain whether that is a suitable option for you. So, long and short of it is, you go for what fits you, considering those particular questions, taking into account your living situation, finance, etc., etc., and you make an informed decision from those who you trust, Drumshack, and then making a purchase from there. In this day and age, electronic drums are getting a lot better. They are a lot better. I remember when I had a Yamaha DTX, I borrowed one from someone, and it was absolute trash. And that was about 15 years ago. Times have changed since then. Their base model of kit is a hell of a lot better than it was back then, and I probably would have been a lot more inspired to play on that than anything I had back then. So again, it's what your situation dictates. Okay, thanks for watching. If you like what you've seen, please do let us know. Like, subscribe, let us know what you think in the comments, what you think is better. Remembering that both of these options are decent options based on your unique situation. So let us know what you would go for, what you think, what you currently use, and we shall see where that goes. Take care.